Hello and welcome to this edition of Saturday Chat with me, Big Scott 35. Finally have a Saturday when I don't have anything going on to work, running around. Got up early, got my running around done for the day, and now just doing some chores around the place, tidying up, cleaning, dusting, all that good stuff. Uh, but I wanted to just touch on stuff for the weekend. First off, so ecstatic. Pete re-signed. At least it's a 2-year deal with his opt-out after one. Should have took the extension offered last year. I mean, when is these Bourse people in Bourse are going to learn? I mean, this is stupid on their part. Boris is outlived. He's good for the superstars and not good for the the all stars or the guys below the all stars. He thinks they're all going to get treated like because they're the best ones in that year of free agency. They're going to get paid like they're the best players in baseball, and the owners are not doing that anymore. They've learned. So he hasn't gotten better. And sometimes you need to take the deal when it's on the table, the extensions and all that stuff. So, hopefully Pete comes back. I want him to have a great year because they got a great team. There is some really good teams. The team in their own state, own city is very, very good. Cross country Dodgers. That's 100 win plus team this year. So enough of that. This is cards, but I get to keep collecting Mets, Pete Alonso's for this year at least. So I don't have to deal with that. But hopefully they can get an extension done this year and Boris lets him sign it. And they come to an agreement. Because I hope that comes. Because I want him to be a lifelong Met like David Wright. And, he's kind of the face of the place. Even with Soto coming over, I mean, Soto's the super mega star, but Pete has been there. Through the good and bad years that he's been there. They've been up and down and mediocre. They've been all over the place. And I think they have a potential to have a strong team this year to compete in that division. So really excited for this season. Want to also touch Ed, my buddy, Wesker Griff. He's under the weather. Him and Mike Fabian, Eastern Connecticut Sport Cards. That damn flu and whatever else is going around. It attacked people at work. Luckily, knock on wood, I have not gotten it. But everybody around me, including family and everything else. So I hope he gets better. But he brought up a subject. It's not a lot of people talking about the Super Bowl, because we do collect sport cards and we're sports fans. Ed, I hate to tell you, there's a lot more people hate the Eagles than like them. I can tell you, and also the Chiefs are the same way. So there's going to be a lot of hate watching this weekend. And the only reason why I think a lot of people are pulling for the Eagles because of the Chiefs. I hate both of them. I'm actually hoping the Chiefs three-peat because I cannot stand the Eagles. But that is all you're going to get out of me. I could care less. I would rather work through it. Tell me the score afterwards, but I'm going to be home. I'll be watching it. We'll probably end watching it on here tomorrow night. I don't know what else. I think that is the biggest problem is like most of the country is not too excited about this game. They're ready for baseball. Or they're ready for next year's football, or they're ready for the second half of the meaningful NBA season or hockey or whatever. So, NASCAR starting I think there's a lot more people looking forward to other stuff than this Super Bowl, which will be watched by everybody because it's the Super Bowl. But I just don't know if we're as jazzed up, um, as if we had two other teams in there. We don't have a darling this year. The Chiefs' shine has worn off. The Eagles are the Eagles, and and I give it to the Eagles. They're the team that loves to be hated, and they play off of it. Everybody loves the bad guy, right? And you know, but I don't even really respect their team. So you got your what I guess you got your my 2 cents out of that, Ed. But there you have it for that. And I agree. I just I think it's just people are tired of the Chiefs, and most people don't like the Eagles. So there you have it. But anyway, I do want to touch on some other stuff. I've stayed silent on this one subject. I want to really think it through before I started talking about it, and that is backyard breaks and their what the fuck moment this week. Or last week, whenever they did it, because I do not. I had to Whatnot app for about 5 minutes to look at different things that I purchased: video games, pops, figures. Seemed like a good spot, and it was. I noticed early on it was kind of Wild Wild West, loosely structured, not very well maintained, and started hearing a lot of negative stuff about it. Not saying I'm above it. I just don't have the time for that. Plus, I don't like. I want to buy stuff. I don't want to be entertained when it comes to that. So that's why I go to Mike O. He doesn't entertain me. He just sells me shit. So anyway, let me just speak on this. I watch other streaming services for different things, video games, chats, for other things, right? And people are wondering why Whatnot didn't do well. They weren't going to do anything until they got pressured. We wanted to be mainstream, and when stuff happens and it's in mainstream videos and everybody's got, oh, it's in the news. Okay, that's what we wanted, right? But Whatnot is going to tell us, not going to tell us what happens. No streaming service is going to tell it. There is a huge video game streamer called Dr. Disrespect. He pretty much built Twitch as a video game service, him and a couple other people. But he was the top dog, and he screwed up, and they booted him off right in the middle of one of his streams. And Twitch is, to this day, that happened several years ago, has not said why. There's speculation. He will not say why. Then he went to YouTube, and I don't know if you know, and he got booted off of YouTube for some stuff, and then they brought him back. They found it not baseless, but wasn't enough there, right? So, or I don't know what. They won't come out. He just put him back on. He just said because he's on, he's good to go. But a lot of his friends are staying away from him and all that. But anyway, we're both. But my point is these big streaming services, they're not going to tell you because of legal reasons. And the person might, but it's in their best interest not to say, what the punishment is, or never come out and say what they did and what the reasoning is for, because then they're saying they did it. And a lot of times they'll take a settlement of like, hey, go away for 6 months and then come back, because they're not going to say they did it or did anything wrong, because they have other channels from under or other things on Whatnot that are still up and everything. They're a huge moneymaker for Whatnot. They are their bread and butter for the breaking side. They're probably their bread and butter for the whole thing. And we're in a capitalist world. If you haven't noticed what's going on in a capitalist country, Um, that's what runs it, and they make a lot of money. So don't be surprised to see him back on. Don't be surprised to see him at the National and the whatnot area, Breakers Pavilion. Don't be surprised to see them there. And what, like people are saying is, don't buy from them, but people are going to buy because they want to get in the breaks. It's an addiction fueled thing, and people don't care about that type of shit. They want to get the cards, they want to flip it, that adrenaline rush, all that. And even if they cared when the thing came out before, when they didn't give the kid the card for the box that he won and they broke it live, that tells you all you need to know with the scruples and the morality and all that with these people. They should have their asses whipped. But there are entertainment for young people. There is the for the frat boy culture, high fiving MFers, that just that goes to that group. And Jeff Wilson came out and spoke against them, even though he did kind of like, hey, come and watch ours. We're family oriented, which you can't blame a businessman in the capitalist culture we're in. It's nothing wrong with that. I just, I wish everybody would just not buy from them. And I mean, what's going to happen? Who we ought to be freaking out on is Fanatics for keep selling to them. Fanatics is the one that's fueling their project, because that's who's selling them the product. But they're probably one of their top purchasers, and that they don't want to, that cash cow. Even though they will sell it to the next person comes up, Leighton or somebody else will step up and fill that void. And they'll just sell their cases then, because that's who that they all look at it financially. Oh, they'll just boot that guy out, but he's one of the owners. So what if he's not on the camera? He's still benefiting from the money. They'll just put another dumbass on there and with a half t-shirt on and do the frat boy thing still. So they just won't talk about minors. They'll talk about other dumb shit, and steal people's cards and all that other stuff. So that's where we're at with that. So we can get mad and speak our opinions. It was a dumb thing to say. He was trying to be funny, because of that frat boy humor, and it wasn't funny. And but we let these people keep going. There's breakers down here that we've seen that left cards in boxes, put knives to people's necks, and we still buy from them. It just doesn't, or people still, I don't, we as in world, not me. So, they just keep going, and, that's not much more we can say. It'd be great at the National if we all got together and kind of went up to their booth and just drowned them out or did something to show our disgruntled. Because I've heard people, I'm not for the cancel culture, but want them canceled. I think cancel culture has a place. I don't understand what cancel culture is. It's a made up term that doesn't mean anything. But some people that are bad and a cancer needs to be taken out. You remove cancer, that's how you get rid of it. And they're a cancer. And if that's cancel culture, so be it. But sometimes you have to cancel somebody. If they are bad for a community or bad people, they need to be removed. That's why we have prisons. That's why people lose their jobs. That's why things happen. There's no way around it. You F up, what is it? FA, what is it everybody's doing now? Fuck around and find out. Well, you know. But there's freedom of speech, but there's consequences to that freedom, right? They're not getting arrested. But there should be consequences. Fanatics should be withdrawn, selling them stuff direct, and whatnot to remove them completely off their platform and let them pop up somewhere else. Probably use a different name, call them front yard breaks. I don't know, but those people you see them, we shouldn't be supporting them. So as a whole, our little community ain't gonna do much. It's just that frat boy. Younger people are not watching us old guys talk about this. They probably laughed with it and don't even think it's a controversy. Because the people that are watching them are the Twitch generation, are the streaming generation, are, the YouTube, and, the reason why YouTube went to 1 minute, because they're just very short attention span, and just looking for that quick rush, and that's what they get from that. So that's all I want to say on that one. Might talk about it again tomorrow night, but it is what it is. They're going to keep going, and Whatnot's not going to kill their moneymaker, and Fanatics is not going to stop selling to them. Because I haven't heard anybody say anything about that. If Fanatics stopped selling to them, that would do everything. But they're not. So there you have. My next thing is kind of the Golden thing. I watched him piss and moan about Fanatics owning their own, thing, like, because they bought PWCC and they got all this stuff. It's funny listening to ultra rich people bitch about something they can't get, and I don't understand it. He buys stuff too. He has his own little monopoly. He didn't bitch because they bought up all the rights to all the sports things. But I mean, he's gonna bitch when they can control because somebody gets a redemption and now they got all the information. So what? That don't mean the person's got to sell it to them or put it in their auction house. That's dumb. You don't think that his people are not sitting there scouring the interwebs looking to see who gets the big redemptions? That's why he puts out a bounty. Let's be real, man. Shut. I'm going to use that word again. Shut the fuck up. It tells you right there where this hobby has gone. My man Ed talks about it all the time. It's gone to this corporation driven capitalism, where it used to be just a fun hobby for us to do on our downtime, to get away from your family, to get away from the world, to just get closer to your fandom of your sport or whatever you're collecting. My goodness, man, where have we gone? What has the road has turned somewhere, and I don't get it. I don't understand it. With all of this, we let the breakers run this thing. You go back to my early 5 years ago videos. I talked one of my early Let's talks when I did this type of thing, and talking about how the breakers, one of the reasons why prices are going up is because the breakers are getting the bulk of the stuff. Now they're making special breaker boxes, and now it seems like they're even loading even other boxes, but they're not even hiding it now. They're making loaded breaker boxes, sending it to them, and you can buy them at a hefty price. Going somehow, Blowout gets their hands on that stuff, and the other ones do too. Not just Blowout, but the other ones. So it has driven the prices up because even though there's this grotesque over printing, which I don't care. I don't over printing to me. I don't care. I don't, because we don't collect base anymore. We collect the inserts. We collect the colors. We look how many people got pissed off because they don't do black anymore, or Mother's Day or Father's Day. Um, but they got 50 other variants out there. So you'll forget about that, and you'll start collecting the other 50 variants, because flagship base is just just there. Collector, some people collect sets, but you can just buy those at the end of the year. You just wait till they get marked down after the first of the year, buy a cheap set. But if you want to collect it, that's fine. Uh, that's just where we're at. And then it looks like Heritage to Fanatics is an afterthought. All these other not crap, other lower end stuff, crap to them, not to me. I love it all. But other stuff is, but their high end stuff is now gone crazy, and it's hard to find. Stores, or they'll sell out really fast online, and museum or tribute or triple threads, which I don't know if they even had that this year. I don't even know when the stuff's getting released to even look for. And I couldn't afford it anyway. I used to get a box of at least museum, if not 2 boxes, because they always would be released around the national time. And I would always get 1 or 2 boxes at the national as something to do at night while I was sitting there, fiddling my thumbs. But I just get singles now. So, I rather buy non-sport or something like WNBA or, hockey. It just opened up a blaster every once in a while when I found it. The only reason I got blasters of hockey, all I was looking for was 23, 24 to get Bedard rookies. And I did what I wanted to do. I had one in metal, and I got one in something SP. So very happy with that. I didn't get a Young Guns, and I probably will never be able to afford one of the Young Guns. I could if it was my primary thing I was looking for, and it might be one day. Who knows? But and then it's just with Panini and the WNBA. I don't know what's going on with that. It's very, very frustrating right now as in the hobby. We're kind of in a dead space, right? We got NFL Super Bowl, NBA's in mid-season, which this season seems like nobody really cares about till the playoffs start. The hockey, you got some, but not much talk about that, mainstream. So, hopefully baseball picks it up a little bit. I know in my little sport lots world, my buying, selling has picked up quite a bit. I know Mike said that last week too for baseball. So it's excitement because that starts this week coming up, pitchers and catchers. So that's something to look forward to. But I've rambled on enough. Gave my 2 cents on my little rant. It sucks, but they're not going to do much, taking down the one thing that they had, and that guy probably won't be on for a while, but he's still an owner, and he have other stuff that they're running things off of and whatnot, and Fanatics will keep feeding them. So what do we do as consumers? We can not buy from them, which I think most of us that are talking about wasn't buying from them to begin with because we thought they were assholes. So, there you have it. But the people that were already with them are not going anywhere. And I hope our community stands up for others when things like that happen, because I don't see it. I don't see it. If it's in our community and one of the buddies of the community, we tend to stick up for that person, and we have 8,000 different reasons why he's a good guy. But when it's outside our little community on the fringes, it's easy to talk this way. And just remember that. Keep that in mind. And like, share, tell a friend, subscribe if you haven't, please. Welcome to my new subscribers. I hope this didn't put a bad taste in your mouth. Who I am. I love this hobby, and I don't like the bad actors in it, and I don't like the people that put down others in our hobby, whatever they do. Unless they're needed, unless they're cancer, unless it's something that needs to be, because I can tell you there's people that we don't like maybe, or rather not watch, but they're not those guys, backyard guys. They're terrible. So until next time, see ya.